Okay, this is a quick video, might not be that quick, about how to find journal articles. Now this may be familiar to some of you or it may not, and because it's going to go for a relatively long period, I'm going to label up where different points are in the video. You should be seeing something come across the video now saying that this is the general search technique. So then you can scroll through the video to find the bit about Google Scholar or the library, so make sure you fast forward to what you need to know. Okay, so what do I mean by Boolean search technique? So when we're searching the internet and we just type something in, it pulls up all the pages that have that word present in it. Boolean search techniques is actually based on a mathematical technique developed by someone called Boolean, where it's a true-false proposition. So let's search for my name. And you'll see here, there's a million results, okay? So clearly that's a lot of results, but I can actually narrow that down by using Boolean search techniques. Because if I now go up here and put capitals in and put quotation marks and spell my name correctly, would be helpful. We're going to go from 1,000,000 to 893. Because now what it's pulling back is every page with Mel Timpson next to each other using the capital letters. Okay, so that's actually how that works. You can see the first thing is my Google Scholar citations. I've only published one paper, and there is a second paper there that I did for the OECD, but that wasn't a research paper. So if you're keen, go and have a look. But we can also use plus and minus signs. So if I put world, oh dear, I do apologise. If I put World War II in, I get 13 million results. Okay, that's a lot. Okay, but if I put not in capital letters and then put Nazis, so now I'm asking for pages that come back without the word Nazi in it, I go to 4 million. Okay, now what concerns me here is, of course, it's got coming up with Nazi, which it shouldn't be because I've asked for not. So I'm going to go up here, change that to a minus sign. All right, and then we lose it. Sometimes in the old days, the commands were a capital and. So if I wanted World War II and Nazis, it would pull that up, or it used to be not. However, those word commands have been now replaced by minus and plus. So you can restrain your searches quite well by using what we call Boolean search techniques. So true that the page has World War II written like that, false that Nazis are present. So that's a true false. Okay, so that's how that works. But how is this actually going to help you in your research? Okay, Google Scholar is a search engine, but it's an academic sources instead of the whole internet. But be careful though, because some of the papers in here are actually conference papers, and they're academic, but they're not applicable for Assessment B. You can use them for Assessment C, which is your essay, but for your annotated bibliography, they must be journal articles. I explain how to do Assessment B, so go and watch that video. So if I go here and I do Boolean search techniques, social science, and I'm old school, so I always do the text, methods, it pulls up a range of things. So I can see here that this is a book, that's somebody doing a citation, that's a book, and so on. We can narrow it down based on year of publication, so I can make a custom range, or I can do since 2015. I can remove patents and citations, which makes it a little bit easier as well. But you can see here most of these are books. Down here you can see where there's a PDF or an HTML available. So you can go through and choose the article that's best suited for you. Because they're all books, that's actually not useful for me. So I'm just going to go to the next page. Again, all books. Okay, so they're all books, so that's not helpful to me for Assessment B. Oh my gosh, they're all still books, that's going to drive me mad. So if I go up here and put article, because it's a single word, I don't have to put it in quotation marks. And if I do that, you can now see I'm actually getting some articles. This one's actually an article. How do I know that? Journal of Mixed Methods Research. So I can actually see that that's actually an article. So let's say that that's my favourite article ever. So I'm going to right click, I'm going to do open a new tab so I can check it out, because then that way I've still got my search. And here I've got the abstract. And here I can see quite clearly that it's a journal article. Over here I've even got the impact factor. Impact factor tells you the number of times it's been cited. The higher the number, the better the number. And here I can see a whole range of information telling me that this is from an article. Here I can read the abstract, and then I can decide whether or not it's the article I want. I'm going to decide that this is my article, and this is what I'm going to call my golden egg. I'm going to come back to what that means. But first, let me show you something else that you can actually do here. If I click on this quotation mark, it actually pulls up the correct citation in all the different styles. So for assessment B, I would highlight this and I would do copy, and then I would go to my document and I'd do paste. And then that would be actually correct. Here it's got bold and italics. You don't normally need both. You could remove the bold. It is important to be consistent in your citations. So if it's just bold, then use just bold. If it's just italics, use just italics across all of them. These bits down here are referring to what we call reference software. And for my thesis and all my research, I personally use EndNote. RefWorks is also available for free from the library. So both of these are free in the library. If you want to ever think about doing honours or doing a thesis, I highly recommend you start building your reference list, because this holds all the references you've ever used, and it will automatically and correctly cite for you in your work. I can't advocate for them enough. EndNote has been through some updates and it's not compatible. It's not happy with Macs anymore. So if you've got a Mac, I recommend RefWorks at this point in time. I'm hoping they're going to fix it. Okay, so from here, I can also do what's called breadcrumbing. I call it breadcrumbing. I don't think anyone else in the world does, but I call it breadcrumbing. So this is my golden egg. I can go down here and say cited by. Now I'm going to right click, do open a new tab, because then that way I don't lose my search. And these are all the articles, all the books, that have then used the article that I've chosen. Now, the reason why I do that is because if I like my golden egg, and I think it's the best thing ever, then chances are these are going to be quite similar, or they're going to critique mine, which is kind of what you need. You need contrasting ideas when you do your research. So it's worthwhile then using these, and you can scroll through and find two of these. So here you got the art of field studies and the art of mixed researchers. That's quite interesting. All right, so there's a whole range of things that you can do. You scroll through those, you choose two of those, and now you actually have 3 journal articles. I've got my golden egg, and then I've gone forward in time from that golden egg because I've done the cited by. All right. The thing is though, is that if I go here and I say, oh, I love this, and I do download PDF, it's going to say, what's your account? Or I could purchase this for $36. I don't want to do that. I really don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this, and I'm going to copy that, and now I'm going to go to the library. If I go here, and I do quotation mark, Boolean search techniques, because then I'm searching exactly for that. It pulled it up for me. That's awesome. It's available online. The library tells me that it's peer reviewed. Okay, so that is awesome. Now I know that it's a peer reviewed. That is perfect for assessment B. So it's available online. I click on that. And then it says it's in here. Now, Sage Premier tells me that that's the database that it's sitting in. So that's the journal publisher, and that's where it's going to be sitting. So then I have to click on that, and then you put in your student number and your password. I'm using my student number. And then there is a journal article. All right, I can download the PDF. And then save it off. All right. Be careful about saving off the PDFs. You are bound by copyright laws and all that sort of thing, so just be conscious of that. so just be aware of what you're doing when you do save it off as a PDF. Now, just like Google Scholar, I can export it to EndNote, bibliography stuff. I'm assuming that's RefWorks. I don't use it, so I'm not sure. But I can just click on citation. And again, I can go to Harvard, and then I can highlight it, copy, paste, and put it into my thing. Or I can copy it to my clipboard, apparently. I don't use the library as much as Google Scholar, so I'm not as familiar with the library. So just to make you sure, just to let you know that I'm not really sure. Okay, so I'm going to close that off. The other thing I want to show you about the library is you can do journal search, so you can actually just search for a straight journal if you know what you're looking for. Or the other way I do this is I actually go to databases, and there's a whole range of databases. So in my research field, Taylor and Francis is actually not a bad one. EBSCO is pretty good as, oh no, don't use a teacher reference one. Go to EBSCO. That's pretty good as well because EBSCO's got a large amount of databases sitting in it, so that's not a bad one to go searching for. And that's exactly like any other search engine. Go to the topic that you're after, so let's say business. And now I can search. So let's search for social science and research. Oh, okay, ignore me. Oh no, don't ignore me. They're telling me what to do there. So, all right, and then they're telling me different stuff that I can do there. Oh, that looks quite interesting. Okay, right, this is the rabbit hole. When you're doing research, you will go down rabbit holes. So be very careful with your time. This is one of the reasons why constraining your searches is really important. When I'm searching, I can have up to 8 search fields. So it just means that I can really narrow down what I'm after. But this is just a quick way of also getting in and doing some searching. All right, so there's a range of ways that you can go, and there's a range of ways that you can find what you need. The important thing is that I've given you 3 articles. Remember, we've got my golden egg, but now we need to find, and then we've gone forward in time, which is that tab there. Okay, so how do I find my next articles? Okay, so I go back to my article, my golden egg. I scroll all the way to the bottom, and here are the references that it used. So this is breadcrumbing backwards in time. It's important to have sources across time periods because ideas change across time. And so you can see here they've gone back to 1912. And as you can see here, you can open the URL and go straight to that journal article. So basically you scroll through, find one with a title that looks quite interesting to you and applicable to the research question, the essay question, and then you open it up and then you've got 2 more. So you've got your golden egg, 2 from the past, 2 from the future, and away you go. And that's your 5. That's basically how you can do your research. You can see how long this list goes for. You've got a whole choice there. So that's my 5, all right? So I've very quickly found my 5 articles. Obviously, I've not gone in detail in them, but, you know, this is kind of interesting to me because I like mixed methods. If mixed methods doesn't speak to you, then don't use it. In fact, don't use this one at all because I want you to do your own research. But this is an example of explaining how you can find what you want. All right, seriously, don't use this article. Got it? Okay. I hope this has been useful. All right.